You are here while you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right, all right. With another seven opportunity, even though money may be scarce and not your active pursuit, at times your knowledge, wisdom, and specialized skills will always reward you with success and financial stability. Um, the pursuit of money ain't really my thing. I don't have this number, oh, I need 10 million or 8 billion or this much or that much. My affirmation regarding money is always the same. I always affirm to have enough money in my pocket. And we are live on Zoom. We are live on YouTube, and we are live on the Seven with Pythris B Metatron's internet radio station. I am thankful and grateful for being here. Woo! Between the heat and the gremlin that's inside of my computer, I am grateful and thankful that I am able to be here today. I'm going to give a minute or two for those to show up, and then we will get started. And we are live. This is on the Sevens with Pythris B Metatron, where we come to awaken, ascend, and expand. I am Pythris B Metatron, your hostess with the mostest. And today is a very good day to be me. You know, every day is a very good day to be me. I believe this, I live this, I bees this, and I require this. So this is what we want to do. However, and wherever you may be listening or watching this live broadcast via Zoom, via um, YouTube, listening via live by internet radio station, and or if you are watching a simulcast and or a replay, this is what I want you to do. We're going to take a slow 16 count breath in through the nose. We're going to hold it here for a 16 count, and then we're going to release, just so that we can clear ourselves and ground ourselves and flush ourselves and get ready for a most amazing, amazing moment. Breathe in. Hold. Release. Now, look out from yourself safely. If you're driving and listening to this, of course, keep looking out your windshield and pay attention to the road. Look out from yourself safely, and you don't really have to be looking at anything in particular. In fact, if you can find nothing to look at, that will be perfect. And then repeat this after me. Today is a very good day to be me. You know, every day is a very good day to be me. I believe this, I live this, I bees this, and I require this. And I guarantee you this, should you make this mantra part of your daily ritual and go about doing everything that it motivates and inspires you to do, your life gets better exponentially each and every day. Again, what a wonderful, wonderful time it is to be incarnated. Regardless of the chaos and regardless of of the the shenanigans that are going on, regardless of the rhetoric and the violence and the pending upheaval, and regardless of the clear division that is being stoked along racial and political and financial lines. This is a great time to be alive, because whatever comes out after the destruction of all of this, because we're in a period that all signs are pointing to collapse and destruction and implosion. Now, I don't want anybody to be fearful. I don't want anybody to get bent out of shape. There is absolutely nothing any of us can do to withstand or to hold back the pending and impending change agent and change vehicle that is coming to the world, not just America. And again, reminding us that July 2024 was the month of fated and karmic happenings and fate and karma in action, and the month of the scapegoat. And boy, oh boy, the farther into July we get, the more those become true. I want to encourage each and every one of us to get informed. Stay away from the bandwagon. Stay balanced and reserved until a full picture of things can be presented. I, for one, know in my soul that it really, really, really doesn't matter which side wins in November in America. If the blue team wins, one facet of the change agent will automatically manifest. If the red team wins, a different change agent will manifest. If neither team wins, and I'll get into that next week, then a whole different change agent will manifest. You guys getting the picture? It really doesn't matter which evil, which is determined the lesser of the two evils, the winner. It doesn't really matter because the cosmos has orchestrated. Did I tell you guys about the Pluto and Aquarius? Everybody on here knows about Pluto and Aquarius, the 21 plus year transit, and that the last time Pluto was in Aquarius in this exact position, the American Revolution jumped off, the French Revolution jumped off, three other minor revolutions jumped off, the Industrial Revolution that got us from horses and buggies to this amazing bit of technology in a couple hundred years. All of that jumped off the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, just like it is right now. So every way of life prior to the American Revolution that jumped off, that way of life didn't come back after the revolution. It was a new way of life. French Revolution, the old way, it was a new way of life. And the reason why those revolutions jumped off, because the old way, the current way they were living, was bullshit. At least as far as the citizenry and the cosmos had deemed. So the change that is already started for the world. We live here in America, and America is the hub of the world. So the change is going to happen here. It's going to be blown up more because the rest of the world has to wait for the change to happen here before the change can happen with them. So I'm excited. All of us will not make it to the end of the change. Some of us will. All of us won't. I am doing everything in my power to make sure that I stay fit and alert and vibrant and ready so that I can see with my own eyes, hear with my own ears, and experience with my own soul the change from what it was, how I grew up, to what it's going to be on a go forward basis. I'm very, very, very excited. Excited for my granddaughters. They will be approaching their 30s when this change is complete. So I'm excited for them, and I'm very, very excited for their children and their children's children. Because like I say, I don't know the full picture of what this change is going to look like. However, I do know that it will be a more equitable system, and there will be equal access. I'm not concerned about equality and all of that. That saying all men are created equal. That's a lie because they're not. All people are not created equal. Everybody's created uniquely, but not equal. Some get more height, some get more weight, some get better looks, some get more intelligence. So it's not equal. You're not created equal. And we'll get into some of that. We'll get into that later on. But I just wanted to reassure all of us that are on this call that all hope is not lost, and the best part of change becomes aware afterwards. Any comments? Any concerns? Good to see you, Miss Honeybee, good to see you, Jolene. Always great to have Miss Tamala on the call, and everybody else that I can't see right now. All of y'all that's on YouTube. Hey, what's going on? Um, so yeah, as we move forward towards 8-8, the Lionsgate, I want us to really um, start to focus in on your personal level. What is it about my own existence that I need to change? And what is it about my own existence can I see the beginnings of change already taking place? That's an important question. I want us to be mindful of ourselves. Uh, we can't fix society as a whole unless we take care of our raggedy asses individually first. Any comments, any questions, any complaints? I love the global mindset. I think uh, it's pie in the sky. I get a kick out of it. However, I know that the only way we change societies is we start with the person that's looking at you in the mirror. We change society one person at a time by changing me. If everybody changes me, meaning yourself, sooner or later, then the momentum will pick up. Uh, how's everybody been since we've been here? Any new developments on old manifestations before we get started? Any anything new that you just can't wait to hold till the end of the show? Now's your time. I am all right, Honeybee. I'm so proud of you for doing your full release. How do you feel literally and physically since you have completed your full release? Just open up your mic and chime on in if you can.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
I feel amazing. I just recently put on my hair. So, when we went to California, went to the beach and we did a release, but I left my notebook that I actually wrote everything down in. So I
Uh-huh.
did a separate release. But before I combed out my last two locks, I went and I pulled that ritual that I had written down, the release one that she
Mm-hmm.
gave me. I
Mm-hmm.
pulled it and I set it on fire. And I just let go of everything and everybody that was tying me down,
Yep.
that
Holding you back.
that didn't need to be attached to me anymore. I let it
Right.
go. And then I cut it off. I combed off the last two locks right after that and did my whole reset. And I feel so much lighter, so
Good.
much freer. Like
Good. Good.
my crown was so heavy. It was
Yep.
ridiculous.
Yep.
But I feel good now.
Good. Good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Honeybee. It is truly a amazing time to be alive. It's truly an amazing time for transformation. And if you desire transformation of your situation, circumstances, you can get it. You can get it. All you must do is dive in and embrace and awaken to your mastered self. All right, all right. We're gonna run on with we coming on with the come on today. Today we're diving deeper into your intellectual self-personality. Your intellectual self-personality is assigned to the throat chakra. Your intellectual self-personality resides in your voice and serves as the home of your learning center. All of the knowledge, wisdom, information, and other forms of data you have acquired throughout your current soul journey must be decoded and transformed into some form of communication by your intellectual self personality. How you speak, what you talk about, and how you form your thoughts into words in every situation, for every circumstance, and in every instance is determined and strongly influenced by your intellectual self personality. The depth, level, and subject matter of every conversation you have is determined by your intellectual self personality. Every word you say, every word you write, every thought you process into verbal or written communication is regulated and approved by your intellectual self personality. Um, yeah. How I gotta be real careful here. How you speak and how you formulate the content that makes up the words that you speak, how you form the words that you speak, your tone and your tenor, uh, uh, how you take complex thoughts that are jumbled up in your head and how they come out as is all controlled by your intellectual self personality. Your voice, your voice, our voices are the expressive vehicle for our intellectual self personality. The the way you formulate a response to a question, the way you get yourself ready to even respond to a text message, the very art of sending a text message, or the art of leaving a voicemail, or the art of answering your phone, or how you answer your phone, and the message that you leave on the phone. Every part of communication, however we communicate, is controlled by the intellectual self personality. Your intellectual self personality okay. Education doesn't necessarily mean intelligence. All right, I can't hold it back. Just because a person has all these letters behind their name, bachelor, master's, doctorate, went to this school, that school, went to this emporium, that went to this, all these classes, area doesn't, it's not your intelligence. Education is education. That's knowledge, wisdom, information, and other data. That's education. Intelligence is how you use, how you comprehend, and how you communicate all of that. That is intelligence. Anybody confused by that? Education is one thing. Education, I don't advocate for it, and I don't discount it. Education is something that is a personal thing for everybody. However, your education, the classes you've taken, the courses you've taken, the degrees you have, and all of that, that's your education. What you do with it and how you communicate and how you go through life, that's your intelligence. Any questions? Any comments? And everything that we have going on in our lives is influenced by our intellectual self-personality, how we express the various moods that we have. Yeah, your emotional self-personality may give you the mood, but and the mental self-personality may contact your intellectual self-personality, but your intellectual self-personality expresses your moods. Every piece of information that we have ever acquired throughout our soul's journey has to be decoded, must be decoded, must be decoded and transformed into some form of communication. I communicate on my level. So all of the knowledge, all the wisdom, all of the information, and all of the other forms of data I have acquired throughout my entire life gets decoded and transformed into how I am speaking to you now by my intellectual self personality. You can tell a lot about a person by how they speak. My grandmother had a saying that she used to tell me all the time: boy, everybody think you a fool. Don't prove them right by opening up your mouth. I knew what she was meaning by that. Uh, um, um, she didn't know that because of how I was born and when I was born and the influences that were surrounding me when I was born, and because of the cosmic code of my name, I must question everything. Questioning everything is not a bad thing, because when you question everything, you will do some research, man, and you get to find out what is really true and what is a bunch of horse shit. You really do. It's not uh like, it's not like she said you just contrary just because. No, no, I just, and you just don't believe anything that no one says. I'm like, no, that's not it at all. I don't, I need to verify this shit for myself. I don't care what you say. Y'all can tell me anything. I'm going to go verify it. Even if it aligns with what I already know, I'm still going to go verify it. It's just who I am. How you speak, what you talk about, and how you form your thoughts into words for everything is determined and influenced by your intellectual self personality. I remember being in grade school, and uh, teacher called on somebody to read something out of the textbook, and they may not have read it like the majority of the class would have read, or they didn't pronounce the word, a word or two properly, or they read right past a comma instead of pausing it, just and kids, kids are cruel, man. Kids start laughing at you and all of that. Your intelligent self-personality determines which conversations you can even get into. It determines the depth level and even the subject matter that you can get into. I'm a well-versed individual, and I'm a pretty learned individual, both traditional schooling and own self-taught some things. But if two brain surgeons are in a conversation talking about their procedure, I'm gonna shut the fuck up because I don't know nothing. I don't know diddly about brain surgery. Not nothing. So I can't get in that conversation. I cannot I don't have any depth. There's no level other than surface level. I could just sit there and be amazed. And the best thing that I could do would be to sit there and shut the fuck up, and maybe I could learn something. Your intellectual self-personality, it determines which subjects you can study. It determines which degree programs you can go after. It determines what you can talk about and how much you can talk about it. And your intellectual self-personality is unique to you. It's not, and it should not be measured against anyone else. I am so done and over with the standardized testing and everybody's in this range. No, fuck all of that. We are individual and unique people, man. Individual and unique. Remember this, you guys. Every word you say, every word you write, every thought you process, and every thought you process into a verbal or written communication and or artistic communication is regulated and approved by your intellectual self-personality. So you can only, you will only say some shit that your intellect has approved. You will only write according to your intellectual self-personality's capacity. You will only respond. That's, however you respond, however you engage, however you communicate. And it can't be measured against how I communicate or how I write or how I respond. And how I write and communicate and respond is no greater or better than how anyone else writes, communicates, or responds. We need to get away from all that comparison shit and then complaining and measuring against this and have a standard and all of that. No, measure against yourself and do shit for yourself, not to beat anyone else, but to be the best you. Any comments? Any questions? Glad to have you here, Natanya. Glad to have you here always. Here's a question. Do I challenge myself on an intellectual level or do I just accept everything at face value in the way it is presented? And this question goes deeper than just, what books I read or what things like that. I'm talking about when anything is presented to you that either it's the first time it's being presented to you or you have very limited knowledge about it. Do you challenge yourself on an intellectual level to dig into it yourself? Or do you just accept everything that is being said at face value? and the way it's presented. I sincerely hope that anything that I say to you guys, anything I share with you guys, anything that I explain to you guys, I sincerely hope that y'all check it out and make sure that I'm not just giving y'all song and dance and a bunch of horse shit. And if I say anything that doesn't resonate with you, clap it back. This is about making your own choices and your own decision. I don't want to influence anybody to believe anything like I do. I want you to believe the shit like you believe it. Because some of the shit that I believe is that is really great for me, that same shit might be horrible for you. And vice versa. And I don't need a bunch of folks that just believe in everything I say. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Another question. Do I trust what I know? Or am I constantly looking for the next thing that I think can fix me? Only fixing that's going to happen is coming from you on the inside. There's nothing outside of you that can fix you unless you fixed you first. And the whole premise about needing to be fixed, where does that even come from? Yeah, I'm flawed. Yeah, I have character traits don't that everybody doesn't agree with, and yeah, I have my own way of thinking. I ain't broken. Shit. Any of y'all on here broken? Any of y'all out of order? Any of y'all inoperable? I don't think so. So fixing the whole concept of if I go do the hatha yoga immersion course, that will fix me. No. You're already fixed because you're unique. You're already fixed. Another question. Am I confident in what I say? Or am I unsure and just repeating something that someone else told me? That's uh, that's a dig at folks who show up at a church on the first day and then in a week later, yeah, they spewing everything out of the Bible at you. like, bro, wait, you just got there like last week. We're Oh well, they told me that. Yeah, okay, I get it. I know you're excited, and that's cool. But do some research, man. Check it out. Do some research for yourself. Am I confident? Am I confident in what I say to you guys? Hell yeah. I'm more than confident, and I know that the accumulation of all that we talk about on this broadcast is is very beneficial for each and every one of you if you use it. If you don't use it, it's still beneficial because at least you have intimate knowledge of it and be able to access it when necessary. So yeah, I'm very confident in what I say. And I don't be repeating shit from other folks just unless it's something that I've already said. Yeah, any comments, man? Any questions? Nope. All right. Your intellectual self-personality determines how you learn, what you learn, and how you communicate what you have learned on a daily basis. Every subject of interest, every course of study, and every doctrine, philosophy, and theory you gravitate to or towards is determined by your intellectual self-personality. The amount of any subject of interest you consume, which means learn, and digest, which means comprehend, is determined by your intellectual self personality, regardless of the subject matter or course of study. Your intellectual self personality determines how deep you can go with it and how much of it you can effectively communicate. I know there's plenty, each of us knows more than one person that maybe their intentions are good, maybe they're not. I'm not here to judge nobody's intention, but as soon as they start opening their mouth and talking about what they're talking, we already know they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, or they dipping in a subject that they really don't have no intimate knowledge of, and you could tell. You ever been in a presentation? You ever been in one of those multi-level marketing sales pitches and all of that? And I've been to a few of them, and I've been to one where the top dog earner was the one who gave the presentation, and that shit was smooth as silk, boy. And then I've been to a few where the up and comer was giving a presentation, and that shit is choppy and yeah. What do you do when you are around someone or in a situation like that, when you know the person who is talking don't know what they're talking about? What do you do? Depending upon the event, I'll get the fuck up and walk out. Mm-hmm. I will, depending on the event. If it's something that I'm watching on my entertainment box that's right over here, I'll change the channel. And if I change the channel 3 times and it's still some of the same horse shit on, I'll turn it off. If you don't have capacity for it, you can't learn and comprehend it. That makes sense? If I had, and I didn't even know this until I started in school when I was in kindergarten, first grade, I had an amazing ability to grasp math concepts from very, very, very young age. Anything have to do with math, I could get it. First time you showed me this shit, I could get it. And I also had this amazing ability that anything I've ever read, anything that I have ever read, I remember. It's like I take a picture of everything I have read. I still can remember some old newspaper articles from 70s, 80s, and 90s. Almost verbatim. Yeah, I can remember uh uh I used to work in the automotive financing industry, and it was governed by the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act of 1974, and I can remember most of that shit. That I could just spew it out to you. Uh, Anything about any number that I've ever read, I remember. I can spew. I can, there's a meme or a question that goes around on Facebook periodically, and it says, What subject can you talk about for an hour unprepared and without any notes? And yeah, I got a whole bunch of subjects I could talk about for an hour unprepared without notes. Because I have an uncanny ability to remember everything that I've seriously studied. This is not bragging. This is not, puffing myself up. I have probably forgotten more shit than a lot of people ever know. That's my learning capacity. That's my intellectual self personality was the bookworm. All the other kids out playing at the playground, I'm in the library. Hell, I worked in the library in the summer. Read dictionary A to Z 3 summers in a row. Yep. Can tell you about the Dewey Decimal System, how you file your books away in the library. Yeah. Tell you about the periodic table. Yeah. All of that. That's just me, though. That's my intellectual self-personality allowed me to gravitate to those things. You understand what I mean? The amount of any subject of interest that you learn, the amount of math that I learned and comprehended was determined by my intellectual self-personality. It wasn't determined by the school or any teachers. My ability and the result of my tests prove that. I scored so high on the test when I took it, the math portion of the military test, that the recruiter came running out of the building. I was on my way back to get in the car to leave. Like, hey, man, hey, ooh, you scored the highest on this, the highest in the math portion that I've ever seen. All right. Math was always easy. I didn't have to study. When I was in high school, junior high school, we go over the information in class. Teachers always told us, this will be on the test. Well, I just remembered everything that any teacher said was going to be on the test. So I didn't have to study. Yes, Jolene, chime in. Unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yep.
I am not in that category at all.
Okay.
I'm not in that category. And yes, I have the abbreviations or whatever after my name, but I had to kick my ass. I had to study. My certain family members are like that. They can, I mean, they can pass tests, and the same thing with my daughter with the military and all that. But I am not in that category. But the people who are not in that category, there's hope.
Yes, yes.
Because as we need to not. It took me 10 years to finish with my BA because not because I couldn't do it. It's just because I stretched it out and I didn't want to overwhelm. And my mother said, when you get done with completed your classes, a piece of paper will be there, and it was there. And so
yes.
Sometimes we just have to not rush, but just follow our own tolerance, because I don't have the tolerance for math. I never ever I never ever. That had always been like the last class. And even with my BA, I was threatened. I went to the counselor. I said, is there any other class I can take other than statistics? And
Right.
he came in my face. He literally came in my, he said, if you do not pass your class, this class, you will not graduate.
Right.
And all I needed was that motivation. And I went to one for an A because math was not going to beat me out of my piece of paper.
That's right. That's right.
And so you have to, I had to get that backbone and really study and get it. And it was not easy for me, but I got the piece of paper.
Absolutely. And thank you for that, Jolene. And I applaud you because you have something I don't have. And I applaud you for that because I don't have a degree in shit. I ain't got no degree in nothing. I got a degree in me. That's it.
And you,
That's it. I don't have a bachelor. I don't have an associate's degree. I don't have a bachelor's
Mhm.
degree. I don't have a PhD. I don't none of that. I have enough college credits for a bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
I have enough college credit for that, but I don't have the degree. No.
Yeah, but I had to bust my ass. I had to bust my.
Hey,
It was not easy, but it was easy because I liked the writing. But by the time I
absolutely.
went to college, I wasn't at that level. I had to bust my ass to get to a level of being better, right? I had
Absolutely.
to bust my ass, and so, and
Absolutely.
by the time I got to my graduate level, I was okay. I didn't
Oh yeah,
have to
by
bust my
then,
ass.
oh yeah,
By
by then
then, I
you
was
had
good.
built the habits and you had muscle memory that it was just on
Yes,
autopilot. By then, yeah, by the time your master's, you were on autopilot and it was smooth sailing.
yes,
And
yes.
everything that you were going to do for your masters, you had already collected and accumulated all along the way.
Mhm.
So you just had to put that on
Mhm.
paper. And you being a
Mhm.
writer, that was right in your wheelhouse. That was the easiest part for you. It was collecting all that other shit to get there was
Yes.
difficult. The master's part, the written part was the easiest part.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
it's and when you say, excuse me, when you say intelligence, I say intelligence. Sometimes it's just practice it. We just have to practice it. You
Yes.
practice, and then the only reason why I went to BA is because I was following my older sister. That's the only reason. I didn't
Right.
understand the bigness of it. I didn't
Right.
understand the bigness of what that meant. But my
Right.
sister, she always talked about education, and I
Yep.
just followed her path. And
Yep.
then it wasn't until much later I said, oh, because she always said a high school diploma, a BA is like a high school diploma. That's
Yes.
how she broke it down to me. BA
Absolutely.
is like it's nothing like a high school. It's like a high school diploma, and that's how she got it into my head. And so
Absolutely.
that's and sometimes you just have to find our way. But when you get there, you be like, finally, I'm good. I'm
Oh
happy.
yes.
What's next?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Because you want to conquer the world. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Jolene.
you're welcome.
All
Hello.
right.
Okay, bye.
All right. All right. Your regardless of the subject matter or course of study, your intellectual self-personality determines how deep you can go with it and how much of it you can effectively communicate. Here's a couple of questions. Do I really trust and believe everything I consistently communicate? That means not not just you as what you do at your job, not just you at how you talk with your friends, not just you casually in the store. I'm talking totality of everything that you communicate. Do you trust and believe it? See, I've had uh jobs, sales jobs, when I was in junior college. I had some sales jobs, to make ends meet, pay the bills, and hey, I'm a hustler like that. That I have quit because I didn't believe in the product that I was selling. I could sell pretty much anything as long as I believe in the product. And once I determined that I didn't believe in the product or that sales pitch was horse shit, yeah, I couldn't do it. I can't. That's why I never got into financial services. Why I never got into the insurance game, because I think the insurance game is a Ponzi scheme, and I think folks are getting ripped off by insurance companies. I do. I do. Anybody ever think about this? Say, for instance, you get you a brand new car today, and you fully cover your brand new car for 5 years. You get a 5 year car loan, and you pay full coverage insurance on your car for 5 years. Never have an accident. You never make a claim. You pay off the car. How come the insurance company don't give you your fucking money back or some of your money back? Anybody ever think about that? Like, whoa, wait a minute. I done paid $1,200, $2,000 a year, whatever it is. I paid $10,000 to insure this car against damage. I didn't get any damage. Give me some of my fucking money back. But no, the insurance company not going to do that. Anybody ever think about something like that? Anybody ever think about something like that? I'm the only one. I'm the only one that whenever there was an outage from my cable company when I was in California, that I was the first one calling them, talking about I want a credit for all the time that this shit has been down. I don't care if it's 15 minutes. Give me a credit. Oh, it doesn't work like that. I said, why not? Why not? The life insurance game is finally um coming around, and you know, you pay into this policy all these years, and life insurance has figured out, some life insurance companies, that you get old enough and they offer you, say you got a $250,000 life insurance policy you've been paying on since you've been 20 and you're now 65, and maybe you don't, maybe you and your wife or wife and husband is beneficiary, and maybe you don't have any kids and don't want to leave it to anybody. So the insurance company will come to you and tell you that we'll buy back the policy for $100,000. And at 65 years old, and depending upon your retirement situation, 100 racks, 100,000 racks, whoo, that might seem the thing to do. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's not. Because you have probably paid that much already. So I've always been that person that rubs up against the status quo. Another question: do I think before I speak and listen to hear, instead of just talking out of the side of my neck and listening to respond? This is what I mean by that. Do I listen and hear what you're saying before and then formulate my response? Or am I just leaning over, got a ready-made response, and just waiting for you to stop talking? I already got the response. I have a situation here in the house where one person listens to hear and thinks before they speak, and the other one waits for the break, and boom. That's a tough way for two people to communicate. Do I listen to hear you, or do I already have my answer formed, and it really don't matter what you say? I'm just waiting for you to shut up so I can say it, so I can tell it. That's important. That's important. And then another question: how does my anger, frustrations, and disappointments affect what and how I communicate? I am much nicer, and I communicate much nicer if I'm not bogged down, if I ain't mad about something. If I'm mad, if I'm angry about something, that will come out, no matter how I attempt to soften that. If I'm frustrated, that comes out in my tone, and you know, I got different levels of sarcasm. I got angry sarcasm, which that's kind of safe. And then I got frustrated sarcasm, which is more than angry. And then I got I wish a motherfucker would. And again, that's when the genie I done tipped over out of the bottle. And then ain't no telling what's going to happen. And that affects how I communicate. When in a intimate, interpersonal, sexual relationship, and the two people are either angry, frustrated, or disappointed. You see, you've been angry and had a discussion with your mate. How'd that sound? I wish we could all be mindful in those moments and hit record on a phone right before we have that blowout argument. And then once everything's been resolved and the temperature has been lowered, go back and then listen to that recording so you can hear how you sound when you're angry. So you can hear how you sound when you're frustrated. So you can hear how you sound when you're at that I wish a motherfucker would point. Any comments? Any questions? Any concerns? Good to see you here, Miss Lemons. Good to see you here. All right. Your intellectual self-personality shapes, determines, and strongly influences what your truth is and how you communicate or speak your truth. And it completely controls your creative expressions, written, verbal, and artistic. Your views of the world and of everything that goes on in society are shaped, formed, and expressed through your intellectual self-personality. How you communicate those big picture views is regulated by your intellectual self-personality. The causes, social groups, political leanings, religious or spiritual affiliations that you align with, and everything you stand for on a personal level are determined by your intellectual self-personality. How you communicate and creatively express all of your truth is determined by your intellectual self-personality. All right, Natanya, thank you for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Yeah, your intellectual self-personality is the one that determines your truth. And it's through your intellectual self-personality how you communicate or speak your truth. Now, how you get to your truth, again, that is your individual soul's journey. And that's determined by you. And again, your truth is essentially just that. It's your truth. Now, my truth is essentially just that. It's my truth. Now, does a portion of my truth resonate with a portion of your truth? Yes. And vice versa. Yes. However, my truth is my truth. And only I can speak my truth. None of y'all can speak my truth. You can speak your truth, which may be influenced by my truth. And I can speak my truth, which may be influenced by your truth, but no one else can speak your truth. That's why I have an issue with general statements. All men cheat. No, they don't. No, they don't. That all men cheat. See, I'm going to explain to you how my intellectual self-personality works with one of those general statements. Okay, it's incoming information. All men cheat. It immediately goes up against my personal truth, which means that couldn't possibly be the truth because you don't know all men. So it automatically goes into the lie category. So I've had to regulate myself, especially on social media, because there's a lot of people that post this, oh, men cheat, or all black women is angry, or no, no, it's not. No, it's not. So making a general statement to me is automatically, your general statement is automatically going to get checked against my truth, and then it's going to get put in the lie basket. Y'all understand what I mean by that? Anything that I put out, written, this podcast, any artistic shit I put out, is being put out by my truth. I express my truth, written, verbal, and artistic. I don't express anyone else's. I don't want to express anyone else's. Your worldviews, your views of the world and of everything that goes on in society are formed and shaped and expressed through your intellectual self-personality. There is no other way you could say something was right or wrong or good or bad or hot. There's no other way than through your intellect and through your intellectual self-personality. If you can't talk, you can write. And if you can't write, you can draw or paint, or somehow, some way, there's a way for you to communicate what your worldview is. And that comes out of your intellectual self-personality. Now, can our intellectual self-personality be influenced by other folks? Of course. Of course. How much influence those outside things have, or how much influence the information that you have not personally vetted has, is totally up to you. For me, anything that I haven't personally vetted goes into the lie category. Everything incoming automatically goes in the lie category, because that's the category that gets reviewed first and fastly by me. Because I'm governed by the number 7, and number 7 deals with truth. So anything that's a lie, I have to debunk it. I got to clap back on it. Have to. It's my duty. It's my duty. Yeah. When I was younger, I was affiliated with different groups, and you guys know my history with the church and all of that. And yeah, my intellectual self-personality not only determined that, but it led me to the causes and to the groups and my religious and spiritual affiliations. It led me to them. It was through my intellectual self-personality where my political beliefs developed. Started age of 9 or 10 years old. Started reading things on both parties, and I really didn't like either party. I didn't like the red or the blue. You have to pick one, but I didn't pick either. I still haven't picked either. I lean one way because they are closer to my political beliefs, but I haven't picked because my intellectual self-personality cannot align with any horse shit. So I'll just stay independent, and I vote according to who better can meet the needs of me. I don't care about the collective, Black collective. I don't care about that. If I vote for the one that does the best for me, I'm voting for the one that's going to do the best for everybody look like me. At least that's how I feel. And I know the other folks feel the same way. Stop, this whole group think and all that, that's fine and dandy, and that's a nice kumbaya story. You're individual. You're individual. And no politician, no government, no anything gonna do anything for a collection of people and not do it for everybody else. All right. All right. Here's a couple of questions. Do I research and come to my own conclusions, or do I regurgitate someone else's version of truth that sounds safe and is accepted as the norm? I got some free thinkers here, so I'm already knowing that. Do I hold my words for the sake of others, or do I speak honestly, openly, and transparently, regardless of the situation, circumstance, event, or happening? Boy, I got slapped in the mouth, got ears pinched, got cussed out, got looked at funny from time I was like 7 years old forward, because I never had a filter. Ears thumped, yeah, pinched. I never had a filter. I never thought there was a need for a filter, because I always knew that the truth is the truth. You don't have to filter the truth. Took me a while to fully understand that everybody don't like the truth. Some people like the lies, because in the lie they don't have to look at themselves. Will I stand firm in my truth no matter what opposition presents itself? Or will I bow down to the pressure of fitting in? Once I got over the need to be part of the group, once I got over that pull to be part of the group, once I got past that thing that I want to be liked by everybody, once I got past all of that shit, I'll be the only one on this side of the road. Everybody else could be on the other side of the road. And y'all could be over there on the other side of the road talking about, come on over here, it's safe over here. And I'll be over there on my truth talking about, yeah, and I'm safe right here. Y'all go ahead. Another one of the things my grandmother used to say to me when I was a kid was, boy, you would jump off the cliff if everybody else was jumping off the cliff. And I would look at her like, no, the fuck I wouldn't. Like, you just really think I'm just that dumb? That I'm people jumping off a cliff, you think I'm just gonna go jump just because they did? I got my own mind. I got my own thoughts. I'm not the follower. I've never been a follower. Yeah, did I end up with a bunch of people in groups? Sure, but I wasn't following them. I wanted to hang out where they were hanging out. They just happened to be where I wanted to be. I wasn't following them. And once I got over the necessity of being part of the group, being an accepted part of the group, I was okay. I was always the one that's going to speak up, speak out. I don't care what the situation was. And normal time, if it's a group situation and I'm speaking up, the majority of the group don't want to hear what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck. I always say the quiet thing out loud. I always say the shit that most people want to say but don't have the courage to say in those situations. Any comments? Any questions? All right. Your intellectual self-personality determines the differences between knowledge, wisdom, and information, and it verifies the truth about all things and invalidates the lies in everything. Immediately upon receiving any type of incoming knowledge, wisdom, information, and all other forms of communicated data, your intellectual self-personality disseminates and determines if it's true. First in a general and overall sense, then for you on a personal and logical level. Your intellectual self-personality automatically compartmentalizes all incoming communication into the categories you have predetermined they should go into. All truth that aligns with your truth goes into its predetermined proper place, and all lies that disagree with your truth goes into its predetermined proper place. How you navigate between your truth and the lies that disagree with it, and what you do with your truth and the lies that disagree with it, is determined by your intellectual self-personality. This happens for each and every one of us. This is not just something unique for me. Any type of incoming information, knowledge, wisdom, or data, even if it's subject matter and material that you already know or have a really good grasp of, your intellectual self-personality immediately disseminates and determines if it's true. Immediately. As soon as you hear it, your intellectual self-personality goes through this process and immediately lets you know if it's true. First, in a general and overall sense. That's why, talking about all men cheat. Okay, I heard that, and then my intellectual self-personality immediately disseminated and determined it was false. So then the process for me on a personal logical level doesn't take place because it goes into the lie category. Once I tap into everything that's been deposited in the lie category, then I verify it on a personal and logical level. Logically, it doesn't make sense. All men cheating is not a logical statement. It's not logical. That's emotional statement. It's not a logical statement. First of all, anybody who makes that statement couldn't possibly be correct because, yes, honeybee, it is a broken statement because the person who makes that statement couldn't possibly know every man on the planet. Could not possibly have had interaction with every man on the planet. So that statement on its face is broken and false to begin with. So any type of general statement like that is automatically going into it's a lie category for me. Then I'll go back and pull it out. I'll do some research. And after my personal and logical review, if it's still a lie, then I kick it all the way out of my psyche until the next time that horse shit come back around. And the next time it comes back around, I have a perfect response for it because I've already done the research. I've already disseminated and determined that it's false. How I navigate in between my truth and those lies is kind of delicate sometimes, but for me, it's comic relief. You guys have heard me say that I'll be on Facebook clapping back against general statements. Most of the stuff that I clap back on is a general statement or is already a lie that somebody is gaslighting people with. And I do it for comic relief. Trust me, I don't take any of it personal. Even if I clap back on you for calling me a dumbass or cussing at me in the response, I will tell you that I'm not here to accept your insults. But I don't take that shit personal. First of all, you don't even know who the fuck I am. I don't even know if you're a real person or a bot that's responding. So I couldn't take it personal. Number two, any opinions, any clapbacks, any rebukes of lies that I do on social media is going to hit less than 1% of the population. We got 350 plus million folks in America. Everybody's not on Facebook. Everybody's not on Instagram. It's like 1% of the population is on Facebook, Instagram, and all this shit. So you telling me that I'm a weirdo and calling me a dumbass is really only going to be read by the people who are on that thread. And most people congregate to groups that they believe similarly. I am different. I congregate to groups that I can be an antagonist and an adversary. I align with adversarial context because it's in the adversarial communication where real change and solutions can happen. If I keep listening to people who believe the same shit I believe, we ain't gonna talk about changing shit. We're just gonna lament about the shit that we all believe in. If I talk to people who believe differently than I do, then two divergent conversations can come to the middle for a solution that'll be acceptable to both sides. Any comments? Any questions? Do I think that I'm going to change the mind of any Democrat that I get in a divergent pissing contest with on Facebook? No. Will I reach someone who's undecided? Maybe. All right, here's a couple of questions. Am I a collector of knowledge or a storage unit for information? Knowledge is not power, and collecting knowledge is not power. Applying the knowledge that you have acquired and collected to your daily life for practical use is powerful. But the knowledge, collecting of the knowledge in and of itself is not powerful. Libraries, some of the biggest collectors and stores of knowledge. Libraries in and of themselves ain't powerful. Now, applying that knowledge, all of that knowledge that's held in that library into your personal life, that's powerful. Do I practice the knowledge I've collected or just store it away? Again, I know esoteric breathing exercises that can relieve a headache, that can relieve an upset stomach. So guess what? I very rarely have headaches, but if I do my breathing sequence. As soon as I feel it come, I do it. If I have an upset or a sour stomach, I do the breathing. Why would I suffer with nausea when I know I could do something for 2 minutes and alleviate it? Why would I suffer with a headache when I know I could breathe and see this chakra that's in between your thumb? See where my forefinger is? There's a chakra right there. You get a headache, press right there with your thumb and forefinger. Press right there. 2 minutes, it'll be gone. That's powerful. I just taught you guys something that in 2 minutes you can relieve a headache way before the time it would take for aspirin to dissolve and get in your system. You want to share something, Jolene?
Yeah, I put
Please
the video.
do.
I don't want to be. My hair's not done.
That's okay. Please do.
But I love what you're just saying in the last 5 minutes. I love that power. Knowledge is not power. It's the ability to use it for the good of everyone, the community. The universe will give you that guidance, and I love that. I find that very inspirational. I don't know
Absolutely.
if you know, but I'm in New York now,
Yes.
and I came to to see family, of course, but I have a mentor because I'm learning something specific.
Yes.
And I had to come out here to learn it because I know how I learn again. I need step by step. This is totally different that I have ever done in my life. And I wanted it to get the best out of it. So I'm here to get it. And so I think you're on target with that. But so thank you for that. Yes.
Thank you, Jolene. Thank you. All right. Do I live my truth versus do I just talk about it? Talking the talk or walking the walk? Do is this, and some of us may have even grew up in this situation, had parents that said, do as I say, not as I do. Have bosses that skirt regulations, but you do it, you get fired. Do I live how I talk? Do I walk how I talk? Do I live what I say? Or do I say it to you and live another way? And the last question, do I know the difference between my truth and the lies that disagree with it? And if not, how do I reconcile the two? Even better question, what happens when something comes in that doesn't align with your truth, yet you do some research and figure out that it's not a lie? What do you do? Are you so rigid that you will sidestep a new truth? Or will you adjust your truth and incorporate it into your truth? And are you willing to announce that, hey, I got a new addition to my truth, or hey, this used to be my truth, but I've done some research now, and now, bam, I'm here. All right, all right. Here's your intellectual self personality mantra. What I see is what I get. What I know is what I have. You might want to, I will send these to you guys. I'm not going to have you write them down now, but I'm going to send you these that I'm getting ready to share with you right now. This is in regards to your intellectual self personality. I need to always be thoroughly informed. I need to always be completely aware. I need to always be thinking clearly and freely. I need to always be verifying incoming knowledge, wisdom, and information against my truth. I need to always be willing to clap back against the lies that do not align with my truth. I need to always be reaffirming and revalidating my truth. And the most important one of these, I need to always be absolutely sure about what I am talking about before I start talking. Truth always makes you free and is always appropriate. The truth never changes, whether you agree with it or not. And then always remember this, it's not about what you say as much as it is how they heard it. Any comments, any questions? Anybody want to add anything to diving deeper into your intellectual self personality? Miss Lemons, you okay? You quiet today. I'm just checking, making sure you're okay. You can just give me a thumbs up if you don't want to talk.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. All right. Just checking. We will be going over the financial self personality on Tuesday. And then next Thursday, a week from today, we will finish with the self personalities with the sexual / interpersonal self personality. The next Tuesday after that, we will have a Q&A session about anything that you want or desire to know about your master self, your master self affirmations, anything that you've been working on, and I will lay out the things that I'm going to ask each of us to bring to Thursday, August 8th broadcast, because we will be having a 8/8 Lionsgate portal opening ritual live on the show on Thursday, August 8th. So it's exciting times. I'm really, really, really excited about that ritual that we're going to be having on 8/8. It's going to change lives, man. Even if you already connected with your master self. I've been connected with mine for a while, and I'm fucking excited about what's going to happen to me and my master self when I do this ritual on the 8th. It's just going to be an awesome, awesome, awesome experience. And I guarantee you this, those of us that go through this ritual on 8/8, no matter what your life was like before that day, it will never be the same. Never, ever, ever be the same. Any comments, any questions? Anybody want to add anything before we check out? Nope. All right. This has been On the Sevens with Piper's B Metatron, where we come to awaken to our mastered self, ascend with our evolving soul, and expand our consciousness mind. We are thankful and grateful for each and every one of you for your support and your encouragement. Please continue to keep On the Sevens with Piper's B Metatron a part of your soul's journey as your mastered self awaits you. Let me leave you with this. What your name cosmically requires, and your soul spiritually desires, and your mind consciously inspires, your body will physically aspire, and your emotions will intensely transpire, and your intellect will proactively inquire, and your mastered self will most definitely acquire. Always be authentically you, unapologetically, and until next Tuesday, goodbye for now. Zen Uru.